Oh yeah, you know, you guys should have known by the boss move video that we were gonna touch on these. Whew, these things are absolutely astronomically busted. For those of you who don't know what the dual Vicis are, well, they're gas sickles. Now, not much going on here, but yeah, let's talk about it. So, this is the current build I'm running. Okay. Melee influence is just absolutely busted on any melee, all right? Do you need to run it? No. I like running it, though, because I like to feel like I'm using the meta sometimes. Okay, I know. It's my build. I can do what I want. I use Dreamer's Wrath, increased opportunity, chance, and crit damage. Crossing Snakes, Weeping Wounds, Virulent Scourge, Vicious Frost, Mosaic Strike, Galvanized Steel, Flood Rush, Red Pressure Point, Galvanized Elementalist. For that status damage, status chance, bunch of status chance, crit chance, and some crit damage. That gives us a mix of electricity, gas, viral, slash, and puncture with a lot of electricity, gas, viral, and, you know, a stupid amount of status chance. Like a stupid amount. Niqnoqqy chances at 22.5. I do this because I like just how it feels. I like having status-based melees, but of course Blood Rush is really good. Technically, I don't need to do much else because of Galvanized Steel giving me extra damage. Now, you saw what happens when I don't use an ability, but let's just hypothetically say I chap this 4. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't care. These are probably one of the most overpowered melees in the game right now, honestly. Granted, melee influence is just kind of busted, but yeah. Dice time. Let's go and do a mission. We're gonna go hard on this. We're gonna go to sickles. Oh yeah. No pet. Because my pet alone is able to one-hit enemies, so let's not get the pet involved. Because I plan on exiting out of this mission early anyways.
These
right?
are worthy foes. Underestimate them at your peril.
Now, of course, I could use the... I'll show off the Frost build. I'll explain why I do everything afterwards. But for now, just mess things up. Nothing's gonna survive, granted. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm gonna walk in here, do that, and then everything's gonna die. Like, that's just how it's gonna go. So let's try chatting about why these are such a potent melee in the game right now. So for one, I've got gas, viral, and electricity on here, right? Unfortunately, I'm not running corrosive. Of course, you could use the other arcane melee. The one where it's every ability you get corrosive, then you could theoretically have a corrosive viral build, which would be pretty cool. A corrosive viral gas build sounds pretty dope. But I decided to try a melee influence build on this. Now, melee influence, as some of you may know, means that when you hit an electrical proc, it spreads to everybody. Now, the thing about the electrical proc and gas is kind of weak when it's, you know, individual, right? When you hit a single enemy and it's not grouped up. But not only am I hitting gas, I'm hitting virals. And I'm also hitting electricity. So that with galvanized elementalist, I believe it's called, means that I have a galvanized mod that increases my status chance, increases my status damage by a buttload. So every hit, I'm at least hitting a status. And so that status then proceeds to get spread to all enemies within a 20-meter radius, which then it resets and then does it again. If that sounds busted, frankly, that's because it is. because I can do that, and now all the statuses spread to all these enemies, and I'm not even having to use my 4, which is my armor stripping ability, which is what should make this build plausible. But no, at this point, my Frost is just here to look pretty and zoom around, as seen by that. Because I can do that, sure. Like, this enemy's a little tankier, Eximus, cool. But, I'm not really using my abilities to deal extra damage. I'm not doing any of that. I'm really just using my 4 to keep me alive, so I have some overguard. Do that. Loose these slashes. Everything within this radius is, well, dead. And honestly, as much as I would like to say it needs to get nerfed, it really doesn't. I respect the way that they've been doing things, right, where they're not really nerfing things as much, and instead they're buffing the other things to be, you know, comparable, right? Now, these are, in fact, just very powerful. Maybe it's just the build, and just clicked for how to build it for me, because this was an immediate thought that I had with it. Maybe influence is just that powerful. Will influence be nerfed? Maybe. Do I know if it will be or not? No, I'm not God. Alright. I'm just a moron who plays Warframe a little too much, you know? But these weapons, I shouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. I think the best thing that they could do to balance melee influence would maybe give it a line of sight requirement, because it's a little busted that this arcane's able to go through the walls. I'm gonna be real with you. Do I think they should? Personally, no, I don't think they should. Do I think it'd be a good idea to nerf it somehow like that? Yes, I do think so. But at the same chase, I don't think they should. And as we all know, we've seen these videos a bajillion times against Torment. It's maybe not the best against the Acolytes, but it doesn't matter, man. Everything dies anyways. If there were more enemies around to get gas procs off of, so then there was a bunch of gas clouds, Torment would have gotten their ass absolutely chewed out. But with that being said, let's get back after killing this Thrax guy. Come on. Thank you. Let's get back to the base of operations and talk about why the build is the way that it is and why I chose what I did. So I've got to come out and, you know, still show that for the most part, my build didn't really affect how the Vicis were affected. The only thing that did is Frost gains 200% crit chance and crit damage against frozen enemies. The rest doesn't really affect it at all. It's all mainly buffs and whatnot to himself. Doesn't really affect how the weapons performed unless they were frozen, which they didn't spend much time frozen. And if they did, they were also armor stripped, and that's pretty self-explanatory. When it comes to the dual Vicis themselves, melee influence. It is wild how powerful this arcane is. On melee electricity status, 20% chance for elemental melee status effects to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds. Is overpowered. I cannot say it any other way. I don't think it needs to be changed, though, because there are more powerful things in the game. I think. I'm going to say there are, even if there aren't, because I really don't want this to be changed. I'd rather the game get harder and other things get buffed than this get nerfed, because I think it'd be fun to just have this power fantasy where everybody's power creeping, because power creep is fun. Am I right or am I right? You can take that as a joke. You can take that as serious. I really don't care. It is up to you. But with that being said, the unique trait is what really sells this weapon for me. being on weapon gas status effect, gain 8% movement speed and 7% attack speed for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times, being 40% movement speed, 35% attack speed, which I actually really like. And gas is one of my favorite elements, and it's innate gas. So yes, I just like this weapon. I saw the innate gas, and I got it. That's how it went. And then now I have this absolute demon of a build. I do think that it may be a little bit busted. Just a little bit. However, I do think, personally, that it could be worse. And I don't understand the whole we need to nerf things aspect of this game fully. Now, some things, if it game breaking, yeah, I think it needs to be nerfed. Melee influence isn't game breaking. You can still die if you're stupid with it. A game breaking, power is Revenant's 2. Mesmer skin is busted, overpowered, and needs to be changed. That being said, yeah, this thing's just ridiculous, honestly. I love it. It's probably my new favorite melee. Frost is still my favorite Warframe, though. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is, but I hope to see you guys in the next one, as this is inevitably turned into a bunch of shorts as well. And hey, if you like, subscribe. If you subscribe, like. If you disagree with me and think that the Cyber Incarnate's the most busted, overpowered melee, leave a comment, tell me why. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces. Good one.